is Chit Chat and Chapters. Welcome in, everybody. I am Austin. She is Lauren. I hope everyone
Hello,
who's
hello.
listening is having an absolutely wonderful day. And Lauren, how are you doing today?
I am doing so good. I've read so many good books. We are flying through. We have hunkered in for the season, and like, I'm ready to go.
We're close to the end of the year, so if there's any push to like hit your what you were hoping to read for the year or all that sort of stuff, we're actually going to get into all of that. Not this episode, but we're going to get into our year-end review of 2025 and reading for us the next episode, and then we'll also talk about like our goals for 2026 and all that sort of stuff. So very
Heck yeah.
exciting for that next episode. But for this episode, let's talk about what we've finished over these couple of weeks that we've been gone. Lauren, you want to get us kicked off?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been reading some good stuff. I've finished up some really, really like solid books here. First, I'm going to start off with Love Arranged. I was reading this last time we were talking and like got this wrapped up, and it is the third and final book in the Lakefront Billionaires series. And it is the cutest little book. This one, like, so I don't know, you read enough romance that you'll probably understand what I'm saying, that like some romance books feel like they're really from, even if they're dual POV, they really feel like the female main character is the primary character and then the male is the second one. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. 100%.
These are the ones that are opposite. I feel like these books focus on the men first and then the female is the secondary character, which is such a
Oh.
unique fun thing that I've realized I really enjoy, because like the Windy City series, the one that I talk about a lot, that's the sports romances, is the same kind of thing that like while I love both main characters so much, I honestly feel like I end up connecting and really like identifying and feeling for the male characters more in this whole
Mhm.
series. Same with like the Windy City. And so like this one follows the kind of villain of the first two, because the first two are cousins and the two of them can't stand the main character of this one. And it's
Oh.
their like the first book, his girlfriend's sister is the female main character in this. So it's like a not really
Mm.
supposed to be together kind of vibes, whatever. But like in the series, he's just an asshole. He's mean, he's brutal, he's sketchy. Nobody knows why he's in the city, like whatever. Where then you meet him and he's not that at all. Obviously, I mean, you know he's not gonna be, but the way that he's not that, it's like he's super like he has a lot of like nervous tics, and he's like really struggles with like anxiety and things like that that then present themselves outwardly as being an asshole, when in reality
Mhm.
he has like some really deep OCD problems and things like that that like really rounded out this trilogy, I think, really well. A lot of people didn't like this as the final one because it didn't feel like it wrapped things, but I feel
Mhm.
like for Lorenzo to get his kind of redemption arc really did kind of bring it all together. So, I mean, this was an absolute 5 star for me. This was such a perfect ending to that trilogy.
Yay. Very nice. I'm curious, like, I'm curious how other people, like, did they like the redemption arc, or did it just not vibe with them because they're like, this guy has been an asshole the whole time, and I
A
don't want
lot,
him to have a redemption arc?
yeah, a lot of the discourse I found around it was almost too polar opposite, that it
Mm.
didn't feel genuine.
Sure.
And a lot of people just didn't like that this was the last one. It didn't feel like the completion of a series as much as
Mhm.
they wanted it to. But to be fair, and like this is kind of the bummer of like when you have a lot of books that come out at once, this Love Arranged came out basically the same time as one of the other series that the Windy City series came out with their last book, Rewind It Back. And I think people were kind of clouded because Rewind It Back ended up being the most ideal wrap up for a 5 book series that you could have asked for, where this one
Mm.
was just the final book in a series. And that's okay. It doesn't have to have this wrap up little bow on the arc, whatever, because they're all their own stories too. And so like I think that's why people probably judged it a little bit more harshly, because like they just didn't like the disconnect between asshole Lorenzo and nervous, kind of anxious Lorenzo. It felt too disconnected for it to be the final book.
Yeah, I see. Interesting. Interesting. I'm curious how I would read those. I'm curious how I would take it. So it's definitely added
Yeah.
to the TBR.
They're fun. Like honestly, these ones are like they're the chunky ones. This one's just right around 550 pages, you know what I mean? So they're thick romances and I love them. I think the depth within them is some of the best in romance books that I have read. Like the second book is my absolute favorite. He has a son and everything that gets brought into it and the kid is written at that age, you know, like one of my
Yeah.
biggest pet peeves is when you have like the single dad trope or like there's a kid involved and you read them and you're like, have you been around a kid that is supposed to be that age? Like they're either talking way too much or not talking at all or doing things and you're like, that kid is not that age. Like what are we doing here? And like
Something's
the kid
wrong.
in the book is fantastic. So yeah, I want to know exactly I want to know what you would think of these because they're way deeper than I think just your typical romances.
I like that. Awesome. Very nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide which one to go with first because I have so many thoughts on all of these. I finished three
Ooh.
books,
Look at
which is
you.
pretty good. I know, pretty good for me. Um, I'm gonna start with Hidden Nature by Nora Roberts. So
Okay.
yeah, so my mom recommended that I read any Nora Roberts because my mom is convinced that Nora Roberts is what she considers an old school storyteller, where it's not just this is a romance, or it's not just whatever the genre is. It's not super tropey necessarily. It's really good. Just this is a story with a great world that you fully understand, and the characters that you can really get like sink your teeth into. And she was spot on. She was absolutely spot on with this book. I listened to it, Hidden Nature. I don't remember who the narrator was, but man, from the right off the jump, this book hits you like emotionally because the main character is a police officer, basically a Parks and Rec police officer. And in the first 20 pages, she is shot and has to go through rehab. She dies on the table in the first like 20 pages and gets shocked back to life. Yeah,
What?
yeah. She dies on the table in the first, like, it was within the first 30 minutes of this audiobook. She
Which
dies on the
again,
table.
we have the rule on this pod that if it happens in the first like 50 to 20 minutes of a podcast, it does not count as a spoiler.
Yep, this is
So,
not a spoiler.
it says it in the bio after being shocked back to life on the operating table.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah. So, and then it's like the story of her making a comeback into getting her strength back and getting back to her being her. She moves back to her hometown. A position opens up and she's able to move back to her hometown. And so not only is she like rebuilding herself, she's rebuilding this house that she has bought, and she falls in love with this new guy, and like there's a mystery, but through the entire mystery you get the perspective from the couple that is committing these murders. And the like it says it right off the bat. Like again, I'm not, this is not a deep spoiler. This is like
Yeah,
first
I
part
read the
on
cap. It's
the villains, the two people that are serial killers, are killing people because they believe that God tried to take them to whatever their end was supposed to be, but they were shocked back into life, and so this is a stolen life. And so they are going to finally set them free. Well, she was shocked back to life. And so
whoa. Oh.
it's a constant merging of she's kind of on their tail, and they're kind of like getting on, finding out that this is a possibility, and like it's a full culmination into just a beautiful, like you see it coming from a mile away, but you can't wait for it to happen. And I think that's a really great thing that storytellers often get wrong, is that like it's okay for me to see what's coming as long as what's coming is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. Very like on the edge of your seat. Good action. It's got 4.14 stars on Goodreads. I gave it a full 5 stars because I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, pretty crazy, right?
Oh. Okay.
And
So
well,
go.
so the thing is that it is a crime drama, and I didn't know if I would ever give one of those like a full 5 stars because it's so like tropey and like the a
What did you
crime.
give? What did you give One for the Money? The
One for the
The
money
first
was
Stephanie Plum.
4 stars. Um, yeah, one for the money was 4 stars because it's
Okay.
all vibes. The vibes are great, but like again, it's just kind of like it.
It's more of a campy crime book than it is like
Yeah,
serious crime. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so then you mentioned that you don't mind when a book tells you as long as there's a good story behind it.
Hmm.
This was another one that I was reading last time that I finally got finished was Atmosphere.
Liz just finished that book too. She said it was great.
It was so good. Ben had to keep checking on me because he was like concerned because I was sobbing. I was sobbing so violently through this entire book. He had to
Hmm.
check. He would just like hold out his hand just in case I needed a little hand hold because I was so unwell through this whole book, man. It was,
Oh,
but it is. It's the book that in the first like literally 10 pages, something entirely drastic happens and then it's flashbacks, back POV of this like
mm,
tragic thing that you're like trying to figure out and it's super suspenseful and then you get back and you start to like learn the characters that are involved and fall in love with them and the ending to this book is just the most beautifully gut-wrenching thing that I have ever read and she'll do it to me every time. Like that's and it's like you said, it's like you gave away what happens, but
hmm.
like you do it in a way that like I need to devour it even faster. I just want to get there. I want to know. I want to get caught up. I want to know what we're doing. Like, oh, it was absolutely
Man,
gut wrenching in the best way possible.
that
Like
sounds awesome.
you have to read this. If Liz did
Okay,
not already tell you to read it, you have to. Like
okay.
this. So my favorite, probably one of my top three favorite books of all time is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by her. This I would recommend to more people though.
Mm,
Like
interesting.
I don't know that this one would beat Seven Husbands,
Hmm.
but I do think I would recommend it to more people. It
Interesting.
was
What about it
it just
makes
feels
it
a
that
little bit more
different?
so like this, I mean like it's very space. Obviously like they're
Mm,
astronauts, so I think that kind of like still also kind of like ties in. You know, we've talked about dudes liking books about space and
dudes love
wars
space.
and yeah, I mean like just that aspect of it like and the dudes in this book are very good dudes. Like
Hmm.
they're Top Gun type guys, you know, or they're just a bunch of good dudes who like planes. Like we're
Yeah,
gonna go
hell
get some
yeah.
beers, but like also the ones in this book make sure that the girls, because this is the whole like this, the women in this book are the second set of female astronauts ever. And
Mm,
so it's kind of also a lot of that dynamic of well, we're now women in a male dominated program, and the guys in this one don't let the other guys pick on them. When they sit there and say,
oh,
hey, you know,
interesting.
oh, the girl's puking in space, the guy's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, you did too, fuck off. You know, like, they really like respect women in a very not cheesy way also like
Okay.
it's not brash, it's not in your face, it's not like hey you can't pick on women. It's very like okay but she beat you on your last test so what are you doing like you know
Right.
it's so well written that like I this I think that makes it so much more accessible for more people because like Evelyn Hugo is a Hollywood romance, it's a old school Hollywood romance at its core. Like it's really Hollywood drama all the way through, which I think makes it a great book for most people.
Hmm.
But I say this just takes it one step further because of like the history really in it with the astronauts and like the first women program and the training they go through to be an astronaut and kind of that whole process really adds an accessibility layer.
Okay. Very nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely got it. I need a break from space. I'm the worst because if it's something Liz borrowed that book, and then she also borrowed a book called The Hot Desk, which is a romance about authors or copy editors or something like that. And those two books are way too similar to two books that I just finished. So Project Hail Mary is the space book, and The Best Crime of the Year is
Yep.
the author's book. And so I'm like, they're too similar. I need some space between.
Need some space between space?
I need space between space. But that takes me into Project Hail Mary. I finished that book. And
Okay, I'm like 150 pages in. So yeah, okay.
okay. So it's got 4.5. It's got 4.5 stars on Goodreads. I gave it 4.5 stars. I rounded up
Okay.
for Goodreads, but I gave it 4.5 stars. Where are you at in this book?
Okay, so like I'm gonna put a huge spoiler thing here because we're gonna do spoilers so we can talk
Yeah.
about things, but we're gonna talk spoilers. He the alien plane just sent back the message saying that they want the bridge to connect to the portal.
Okay. Okay. So I think you're far enough that I can spoil this and not ruin anything.
Okay.
So this is the thing that I really rubbed up against with that didn't feel right to me. And it was that I know on the back of the book it mentions that, like, on the back of the book, in the summary at the bottom it's like, or does he? And it talks about him being alone, and then the last line is, or does he?
Yep.
That's not enough for me. This book was pitched to me as solo man in space has to figure out who he is to possibly save Earth.
Oh, see, I knew that there was friendly alien.
You knew that there was friendly alien. I had no
I
idea.
knew that there was friendly alien because
There is
I
friendly
knew
alien.
I
Yeah.
knew because I haven't read The Martian, but I know that The Martian is also another space alien book that is not spooky aliens, that the aliens are not bad people. And so I knew going into Project Hail Mary that like the alien in this book is not bad.
Yeah. And like it's fine, but like it solves so many problems. It solves basically all of them. Like
Yeah.
which
I
is
feel like it's
which is
gonna
fine, I guess.
yeah. I feel like it's gonna end up becoming more of a book that's like him figuring out how to communicate with the alien rather than solving the problem that he was supposed to solve in the first place. Is kind of the vibe that it's already giving with the intensity in which he's like, okay, gotta get back to talk to this alien, gotta get back in so I can communicate back with this. I'm a little fearful that it's gonna become him and the alien become besties and oh yeah, there's the side projects of saving the earth.
That is that is pretty accurate as
Yeah.
to what happens, except for the fact that both are trying to figure out the same problem. So like,
Fair.
so like it's not that the goal is to become best friends. It's we both know we have a problem. We need to find a way to share information so that way we can both fix said problem.
Yeah.
But it just so happens that like this alien the alien is an engineer, so he can fix a whole bunch of stuff. Our main character is a scientist, so he can explain a whole bunch of stuff. And so it's like it's very like Deus Ex Machina, like just we
Yeah.
happen to get lucky and happen to have the perfect solution for the perfect problem that we never knew that we were going to have.
A little bit of like don't think about it too hard.
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. It's very much
See,
don't think about it too hard. Just look at the pretty lights.
yeah, see, and that's one thing, like, I'm really glad that I'm listening to the audiobook of it too, because even in this first 150 pages, like, I'm kind of struggling to want to pick it up. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's enough of it that I'm like, it kind of feels like a little bit of whiplash between, like, the science side of like what astrofuge is
Mm-hmm.
versus like where he's at in this current predicament, that like
Mm-hmm.
if the audiobook narrator wasn't as absolutely phenomenal as he is, I'd have a hard time picking this up right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, I'm 150 pages in. Like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like at some, like, I was expecting so, I have a sad feeling that this is going to be one of those books that I had such high hopes for that ends up
Mm-hmm.
falling just a little bit flat on things.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I mean, like, it's just like, I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal still at some point. I'm sure it picks up a little bit more. But
Mm-hmm.
also, like, the narrator is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me right now.
Yeah, yeah. And as you learn more about like the people that that are in the spaceship that don't make it to where he is, the reason why he's there, all this sort of stuff, like it's not as dramatic as the author wanted it to be. I know for a fact that it just isn't.
Yeah.
And there's not like I still gave it 4.5 stars. I
Oh,
really
I bet I
enjoyed
will
it.
too. Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. But like when people have claimed this to be like one of the best books of the last decade.
Yep.
And I just think it falls short of that because it just is like it just isn't all there. Like it's almost awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
It's almost awesome. And the fact I would rather it be fully great and not be so close to being awesome. And that's where the shortcomings come. And I feel
Yep.
bad for that because like he clearly the author clearly did a bunch of things that if he had turned up the volume on like two or three spots,
Yeah.
yeah, this would be easily one of the best books in the last 20 years. But
See,
because
now I'm even more nervous to write to be reading it right after
hmm
Atmosphere because of how good of a space book that is.
hmm
It's also such a good space book that now I'm
yeah.
makes me even more nervous going back to back space.
I bet it does. It makes total sense. But
Mm-hmm.
all right, spoilers done. Take that down. Project
Yep.
Hail Mary conversation is over. Still read it. It's still great. But those are our thoughts.
Okay.
I can't wait to find out when you do finally finish it if you agree with me or not.
I'm so intrigued. Yeah, we'll probably have to do another short deep dive
Yes,
next episode. So
absolutely.
before
Okay.
we get into our year end. Okay,
Yeah.
so my last one that I finished up is Good Spirits. Ghost of Christmas
You were
Past to
so
make me
excited for
sexy.
this.
It was so cute. Oh my
Nice.
god. I was not expecting like I was expecting cutesy little romance. I was expecting Hallmark movie.
hmm
I have never wanted to reread a book immediately after finishing it so badly. This was
Really?
phenomenal. Austin. I cannot emphasize enough how well this was written. Oh my gosh. I'm still thinking of like I now want to get the other version and I want to like annotate and doodle in it and like make it all cutesy and like reread it and like even knowing exactly what happens, it was so good. It was, yeah. I mean, like, so Nolan is the ghost of Christmas past, and he comes and he pops up into Harriet's life, and Harriet owns an antique shop. And essentially, like, he's like, well, I just need to get through this and get you on to the next ghost because, like, I don't know why I'm assigned to you. My magic doesn't work that way. Like, I just pop up, we go on adventures and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to realize that Harriet doesn't have any sinister memories. She's not a bad person. But like after like the third trip, um I'm checking really quick to see if it's on. Okay, so like basically on like the third or fourth trip, things start to go askew in a way that I don't want to spoil things, but it like yeah. So like it doesn't say it on the back, so I won't say it. But like after like the third or fourth thing, things start to like really go haywire in all of this, and now
Mm-hmm.
we're not really sure why she's with him or why things are happening to him that shouldn't be happening in this ghost world. And it like,
Mm.
and you get like a fourth of the way through this book and not even that far into it, and you're like, how is this going to end? Because at the end of the day, he's a ghost and she's not. How are they going to end up together in this cutesy little Hallmark romance? Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Like, BK Borison is now just an. Because she did the first time caller.
Hmm.
And like, such. Yeah, I want to reread it already. I will probably
Nice.
reread it before
I
Christmas is
know what I'm
over.
getting next time I go to Barnes and Noble. I know it.
It's so good. It's
I
so
already
good.
know.
Yeah, and especially if Liz loved First Time Caller, she should read it too because it's just the coziest little thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right, cool. On the list. That's now jumping so quickly up because it's a holiday one.
yeah, and it's the perfect holiday one. It's so good.
Nice.
Harriet has a
Okay.
candy cane problem that just then he and Nolan sets up his magic so that she's never without a candy cane in her pocket. And so she just pulls
Oh.
out candy canes through the entire book because she has a candy cane problem.
Oh,
It's
well,
so
that's
sweet.
so cute.
Right? I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is the last book that I just finished, and it is a true 5 star for me. Now, that being said, Such Kindness by Andre Dubus the Third. I don't think is a 5 star for everybody. I think it is specifically for Austin, and the reason why is because our main character is a guy who was a roofer who fell off a roof and lost everything because of it. So,
Oh man.
so this felt like I was looking into another universe of like what could happen. Where like
Mm-hmm.
he is a contractor, he actually like does the work, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
right off the bat, he's living in subsidized housing. The reason why is because he fell off a roof. He's trying to like commit check fraud so that way he can get some more money so he can get his car back so he can go visit his son at college. Okay, so like that's the start of the story. He's been like this for a decade. Like it's he was addicted to what he calls O's, OxyContin and all that sort of stuff. It's like the the reason why this hit me so hard was like this is a guy who lost everything, and this is his journey, not to get everything back, but just to play the way that they describe it in the book is just to play the hand you're dealt. And he
Yeah.
hadn't been playing the hand that he was dealt. He was just mad about the cards that he got. And so what does that look like? And how do you grow from being at rock bottom? And the reason why I want to talk about this book especially is because I was really scared about halfway through that this book was just going to be poverty porn. There are some books that are about people who are in bad situations and they only get worse.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I haven't read that my wife has read, like Demon Copperfield, I think is one of them, where it's a story about a kid who is born into a rough situation, and that rough situation just never gets better. Or what's the one that she's reading right now? A Little Life, something like that.
Oh,
Um,
that one with the guy crying on the cover.
yes,
Oh
actually, it's
no,
not
that
just
you
him
you will
crying.
never see me.
Interesting story about that is that picture is not of a man crying. It's a man finishing. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What?
yep. You can Google that. That's a fact.
I don't think I want to Google that.
How do you Google that? Is a great question. Here, I'll let me Google uh,
Wild.
Little Life cover photo explained. The man in the photo appears to be experiencing either extreme pleasure or intense suffering. It's a black and white photo by Peter Hujar titled Orgasmic Man. Yeah, so there you go.
Austin. Austin.
What do you want from me? I'm just telling you
That's
facts.
wild.
So, but that book is another book of things just keep getting worse. And there are moments where things get a little better and then it gets ripped away. And I put that under poverty porn, where people who do really well for themselves like to read about how hard it is to be poor. And and people win awards for those books. You will not catch me reading one of those.
Yeah.
Isn't for me. Not that I need a happy ending or anything like that, but there's just, I don't get anything out of reading a sad story for the sake of a sad story.
Yeah. For me, it's both. I don't want to read a sad story for the sake of reading a sad story like that. I also, though, like, I read quite a bit of like self-help and like self-improvement and whatever. I also can't stand the, man, let me tell you how bad my cards were and I just threw them all away, baby. And now I'm a millionaire. And now
Yeah.
nothing bad happens to me because I said nothing bad was gonna happen. No, you didn't. That did not happen. It did not happen like that. Like you're also glorifying it. Like I can't stand the two extremes.
I'm
I don't.
100%
I
with you.
can't do both.
Yep, I totally agree. And this book does a great job of riding the line of, like, this guy, like, I always question how much to spoil, but like,
I know I do too.
I don't think this ruins the book. He doesn't get out of subsidized housing. At the end, he still is in subsidized housing, but he's happy. Like,
And
the
that's what
yeah, and so it's a super powerful message of playing the cards that you're dealt in whatever way that is, and
Yeah.
trying to do better even when you've messed up so badly. And so I loved the book. There were moments where I was like, this is too close to home. This is and Liz picked it up from the local library, and so I was like, all right, sure, I'll read it. And fantastic read. Really enjoyed it. I gave it a full 5 stars. I think for most people it's probably like a 4-star, but it's very
Was it based on a true story? Is it a true story?
no. It says a novel.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
That sounds like something that would be, very based on true story vibes.
yeah. Nope, I don't think it is. But apparently this this author has written a bunch of books that are very emotional, because we got to get into the next segment, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So on the back of the book is praise for the work of Andre Dubus III, and only 2 of the 4 quotes are about this book. The other 2 are about other books he's written, and that was a red flag.
Yeah, that's not
Like,
great.
yeah, like, and they absolutely are in the, like, one is Dubus's compassion is unsentimental and unblinking, total and unwavering. Paul Harding, author of This Other Eden (parentheses on Gone So Long), which is another book that he wrote. And it's like,
That's hilarious.
dog, it really made me nervous when it was like, okay, these authors say this author is really good, but not this one, not
But
this
not this
book.
one.
So, alrighty. But yeah, gave it 5 stars. Great book. Definitely pick it up. What are you reading right now? Obviously,
Right.
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, I'm in Project Hail Mary. I'm in deep right now. As we end the year, I am very much like in my one book at a time kind of thread for a little while. So yeah, I'm just about 150 pages into Hail Mary.
Very nice. I started an audiobook that I'm
What about
having
you?
a hard time getting into, called Legendborn by Tracy Dion. It's a YA
Oh,
fantasy kind of thing. And everyone who has ever read it says it's phenomenal. I'm just having a hard time getting into the audiobook. I think it's just like,
yep.
uh, I don't think it's a narrator problem. I think it's just like when I listen to an audiobook, I'm driving to places for work, and sometimes work is just in my brain.
Just the
And
headspace thing.
so
Yep.
yeah, so
Yep.
I need to like step back, restart it. The other one that I
Will
haven't
you
started yet.
do you ever
Go ahead.
do you ever DNF for now? I have a couple books that I have like soft DNF'd because I just knew that I would enjoy it at a different time, but I was not like in the mindset for it now.
I haven't run into that yet. This might be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might be the first one. Haven't done anything like that yet, but I can see where I could do that with this one. So, but this is the next book that I'm reading, Nightmare Arcanist. This has been on my TBR since I started a TBR 2 years ago, and I just have never found it. Liz found it on some bookstore online, and it's in a little bit of rough shape, if you can see, but I've heard that it's really, really good. And look at this cover.
I know
Look
that
at
cover's sick.
It's awesome. So very excited to start this. Haven't started it yet, but I'm very excited too. The Phoenix is crying tears of lava.
Yeah, no, it's so sick. That's such a sick cover.
Sick as frick, man.
Sick as frick.
So that's what I'm reading. Okay, all right. We gotta wrap this segment up. I knew that this one was gonna go long because of the Project Hail
yeah.
Mary talk, but we gotta wrap this up. We've got we're actually gonna do a deep dive into our ratings coming up next.
Yep.
Welcome back to Chit Chat and Chapters. Austin, Lauren, back again. We are talking about our different rating systems. So the reason why we are talking about this, especially, is because if you've listened to this podcast at all, you know that Lauren and I have very different rating systems.
That's one way of putting it.
And we battle every single week to decide whose is better. And now we're going to go into a full deep dive so that way people understand where we're coming from with all this. And I cannot wait to see who actually, like, who people side with.
Yeah.
Because we've kind of got into it a little bit before, how maybe Austin is more of an author-based reviewer versus Lauren is not so much. So, but we'll get into all that. We are going to go back and forth on what is a 1-star book, what is a 2-star book, what is a 3-star book, what is a 4-star book, what is a 5-star book. We're going to go back and forth on that. Okay, let's start with 1-star. Lauren, give us a rundown. What is a 1-star book to you?
A 1-star, like, so for me, if I DNF a book, it does not get a rating. I did not finish it, therefore I cannot properly review it, therefore it does not get anything. So a 1-star for me is simply a why did I finish the book?
Hold on. You can't rate DNFs?
No, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the book.
Who cares? You put time and effort into it.
It gets its own category on my Goodreads, but it just doesn't get a review.
Yeah, it doesn't get it, but like that's not going to tell other people how bad it is. Like Goodreads doesn't have an option for DNF. Goodreads like just doesn't.
Which is fair. Also, side note, that's why I like Fable. Fable is like my new kind of go-to app for the ratings and the reviews and things. Okay. So much better than Goodreads. It'll also give you quarter stars. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. But okay, so like, and that being said, I do think that maybe starting in 2026, I will start doing DNFs as 1-stars. Not because of you, but simply because I do understand wanting to like actually denote that like this is a 1-star DNF. It is not getting a review. But I have books that like I finished all the way to the end and then I close the book and I go, that was a complete waste of my time. It never got better. Why did I finish it? 1-star.
That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Okay. All right. My 1-star. My 1-star is a DNF that was bad. That was really, really bad. My 1 and 2 stars go hand in hand, but we're starting on 1-star.
Yeah.
The purest definition of a DNF for me is a 1 star that I got who knows how far into. But the whole way I was like, what is this? Who is why am what is I don't understand the story. I don't understand what's going on. Like I can't think of anybody who would find this enjoyable. It is trash.
See,
Put
and
it
I
in the
agree
bin.
with that. I would agree with that. It's just that I have at least read the whole book.
That's insane. That
Yeah.
is an insane thing to be like, oh yeah, I this book, like holding up 2 books, right? And it doesn't matter what these books are. I'm just using these as props, right? This book really terrible, really awful. Could not finish it. It is not worth rating, but this one that I did finish does is worth telling people how garbage it is. That doesn't make any sense to me. Tell people how bad books are. Burn them in the comments. Don't actually burn books, but burn them in the comments.
Roast them. Fair. Again, like I will say that's why like starting 2025, I do see where there could be a little bit of like adding a DNF as my 1 star. That's like that I think is going to be the only thing that you're going to get me to kind of come around to, because even especially as we like go into like the deep ratings on things and doing our good books bad review segments and stuff, like it does seem like a vast majority of the book population will agree that a 1 star would be also a DNF.
Right, right.
So
Yes.
that will be the only take that like you might get some pushback from me. You might get some or not some pushback, some like you might get me to come around a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, that feels like a win already. It feels like, and it's purely just because it's like, hey, listen, I want to tell people not to read this book, and
that's fair.
No one's gonna know not to read this book if I don't like. It's the same thing with like doing a 1 star on Yelp or on Google or whatever. Like, I'm not always gonna write like a 1 star review on, like, if it's on Google or Yelp, it's gonna be 1 star or 5 stars, right?
That's fair.
Because it has to be bad enough for me to tell people don't go here.
Which I guess I will admit that like that does also follow the same logic as to why I rate every memoir 5 stars. Because like I rate like, and we'll get into 5 star later, but like it does kind of follow that same trajectory and like thought process of it's either a 1 star because you're telling people don't read this garbage book. I couldn't even finish it. Versus like my version of a 1 star that's like I did finish it. It'd be like going to a restaurant and eating the entire meal and going home and puking and being like, well, I did technically eat it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That is
That's
perfect
fair.
analogy.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Am I...
all
So
right.
then a 2 star.
2 star.
A 2 star for
2 star.
me.
Yeah.
A 2 star for me is typically it's when it gets to that like 2.5. It's kind of just a book. It didn't really have anything that really captured my interest. I finished it and it was fine enough. I used 2 star honestly on Goodreads a lot because I thought it was a 2.5, but I couldn't give it that 3 star because there wasn't really anything overly enjoyable about it. So then I bump it down. And
Hold
so
on.
like two.
Time out. You don't just round up? You
Oh
round
no,
down?
I round up or down, absolutely.
Why?
Because I'm not gonna give a book 4.75 stars and then round it up to 5 stars because it's not a 5 star book.
But it doesn't have the nuance. Like if it's a 4.75, you want people to read it.
Yeah, but it's not a 5 star book. It doesn't get the same classifications.
Dog. You gotta be joking me right now. Hold on.
No.
Okay.
No, not even.
We're so much farther apart than I thought we were. Okay. Okay. Let me recalibrate. Okay, because I was under the impression that everybody, when giving, like, if I have
Oh,
a 2.5
honey.
star book, I round up to 3
Oh,
because,
honey.
like, clearly it's going to give a boost to the author. Like, it doesn't, like, it clearly was better than a 2 star. So, I'm going to give him that little extra bump.
And sometimes I do. And sometimes I do. Some like a lot of times for me a lot like you're in between you're in between a 2 and a 3, a 3 and a 4. A lot of times you'll see me round up versus down. for the intent of Goodreads. Where I really get nitpicky about something is if it is not a 5-star book, I will not be rating it 5 stars. I don't care if it's 4.75, it's not a 5-star book.
You are insane. You are
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy talk. It's
Yeah.
4.75 is closer to 5.
It is,
I'm
but it's not a
fine
5-star
with
book.
you.
If it
I'm
was a
fine
5-star
with
book,
you
I would
rounding
rate it
down
5 stars.
4.25. I'm fine with you rounding down 4.25. If you round up on anything that's 0.5 or higher and you don't round up, you're wrong. Like, that's doing math wrong, first off.
But it's not okay, fair, but it's not I'm a reader, not a mathematician. Let's get that out there.
Boo.
And B, it's not a 5-star book. A 5-star book is such an elite thing that like I refuse to round up. A 5-star book is a feeling, not a quantifiable number.
That you then turn into a quantifiable number.
No. Because that's why I won't give it a number. I won't do it.
Goodness gracious. Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
so then speaking of it in a 2-star
Okay.
realm,
2-star. Right. 2-star. We gotta stick with what we're talking about here.
we're already so off the rails.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 2 stars.
A 2-star book is a book that I finished that was just a book. It was a book that was fine. I wouldn't probably recommend it to anybody, but there was nothing that I disliked about it. I read the whole thing and I was like, yep, that was a book that I finished.
Do you have any like examples?
Yes. Let me.
Because my 2-star is very different from yours.
Yeah, it is. Talk about yours, and then I'll go back and I'll find mine.
Okay. So a 2-star book is another DNF. It is another version of DNF. It's like a 2-star book for me is a book that I can objectively say is well written or is, has an interesting whatever, has an interesting plot line, has an interesting whatever it may be. Or maybe I just really like the author. Like that's really what like my 2-star rating that I wanted to show. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a rating. The 2-star that I am thinking about specifically is The Necromancer's House, which is by Christopher Buehlman. Which
you told me about, okay, we talked about this from last pod.
Yeah. So this book, Christopher Buehlman, is, and I'm realizing now as I go through my Goodreads that I have broken my rule at least once. But Christopher Buehlman, fantastic author. Love most of his stuff. The Necromancer's House, I DNF'd because it was really gross. It was really like sexually perverted and all this sort of stuff, and just wasn't for me. Not my vibe. Super well written, but not for me. And so that's why it got a 2-star. I'm looking at my I am looking at my other 2-stars, and they are books that I finished.
See, okay, because if you're going off of the 2-star being an author that you really enjoy, but that book just didn't hit the same way for you, I was going to go. I don't know why it just disappeared off my Goodreads, but Family of Liars. It's the second book but it's technically the prequel to We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. It's a YA mystery thriller, and it's just like it so didn't hit the way that I wanted it to compared to the first book that it was just like it. I finished it and like I love the way that author writes things. So like we are similar in that same way that like I finished it, but I was also like because I loved the author, I think is why I finished it. But the entire time I was just like, yep, we're checking boxes here, man. Like
Yeah. And as I look at my other 2-stars, I think my rating officially would be DNF but well written to finished but bad.
See, okay. So
think
now
that
we are closer on 1 to 2 than we thought we were.
I think that's where, because my other two stars are Flipping Boxcars by Cedric the Entertainer. It I finished that book, and the reason why I the reason why I didn't like that book in particular was because they got the rules of craps wrong. They didn't know how, they didn't do it right, so there's that. But
Fair.
it also was just a super, he's clearly a very good storyteller, but not a very good writer.
Yeah.
Concepts are great, but the execution not very good.
Yep.
Ghost Radio is the other one. That one might be the only book that actually is a 1 star that I finished.
Oh, okay.
But it got 2 stars because Pedro Pascal was the narrator.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, but the book
That's fair.
sucks. Ghost
Yeah.
Radio is bad. It's a bad book.
Yeah.
So I guess my official 2 star would be DNF but well written, or bad book I finished.
Yeah. Okay,
So
because
not just
I'm looking.
blah, not just oh this was a book. It's bad.
Yeah, see, and mine for me it's still just a book because another one that I'm looking at here is Hotter in the Hamptons by Tinks.
Okay.
She's a pretty big influencer, and she wrote a book, and I read the whole thing expecting some type of and I guess actually this was one that I did a 2.5 rounded down even because it was the definition of just I cared about the plot occasionally, but really I didn't, and I was waiting for the character to go through some self-growth, and she never did until the last 3 pages, and then it felt really flat because why would you wait that long to do it? And there was some banter, but it felt, even that was felt really out of place every time it came up, and it was just one of those that I will never think about this book again other than how mediocre it was.
Yeah.
And so that was a 2.5 rounded down. But as I'm looking at this, I think I am even more strongly in my 2 stars are I liked the author, but I didn't like this one. It's a lot of it's a lot of second books in a series.
Mm-hmm.
So Glass Sword from the Red Queen, I gave that one a 2 star. We talked about the Thousandth Floor, that kind of sci-fi one that was up in that was a solid 2 star. It was just a book, but I got confused throughout the whole thing, and I cared enough to finish it, but not enough to enjoy it,
Right.
And that's what I'm realizing. A lot of my 2 stars are just they just don't give me any feeling. They just aren't good
Yeah.
enough for me to really be some huh behind it.
Yeah. And I think that's more how I feel about my 3 stars. So let's get into 3 stars. What
'Kay.
you describe your 3 star to you?
For me, a 3 star is it's a vibes book. That's where I put my 3 star. It's a vibes book. It's a cutesy little. There's going to be nothing deep about it. If it's just smut, probably a 3 star because a lot of those don't really have any depth to them. A 3 star, if you come
just
to
a
me,
little bit of depth.
ayo. I always look at a 3 stars if you come to me and you say, hey, do you think I will enjoy this book? I might be yeah, probably. It's a fine one. If you're interested in it enough to ask me, then you would probably enjoy it. Cool. I'm not going to recommend it to anybody. I have way better books.
Right.
But it's just a silly, goofy time. It's a silly, goofy time. It's probably really trope heavy. It's just I enjoyed it. Will I remember it next year? No. But it was fun.
I think we are. I think I've figured out how our difference is. Is that, goodness gracious, my cat fell out the window. Not out the window. That was wild. It fell off the windowsill. That's crazy.
Is he okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
Okay.
Moolah, you good? Just walking away you said you didn't see that, did you? You can, if you want to keep this in, you can keep this in.
I'm going to. 100%.
So I think I'm seeing the difference here, and is that you are 1 star lower on everything than I am.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Because a vibes book, I honestly oftentimes rate books purely on vibes. There are a number of books that are 5 stars that I have that are just vibes, that aren't super deep. My 3 stars are books that I finished that I don't have much feeling towards. Like, I'm looking at some of them. The Librarian of Crooked Lane. I got nothing about that book. There's nothing that comes to mind of if it was good, it was bad, just nothing. The Notorious Sorcerer. Again, another book that I'm like, it has nothing for me. Like, it doesn't register. Then there are books like The Devil Takes You Home, which is really well written, but super gross. And so that's the one, the WTF one. And so it's well written, but I didn't like it. And so again, it's like these are just like they were fine. They were books. I didn't hate them outright, but I also didn't really enjoy them. I would say
Yeah.
that for me to enjoy a book, it would have to be a 3.75. It has to be closer to 4 stars than 3 stars for me to say that I enjoyed the book.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I see that, I mean, like, a 3 star is middle, it's neutral.
Hmm.
See, and I guess, and I think that's the thing, is I look at it as like one building up, where I think you view it as like three being neutral, and you can either go above or below.
It's like whenever you get a thing at work where it's like strongly agree, strongly disagree.
Yes.
Yes,
Three's the middle,
that's
and
exactly
yeah,
it. That's my view, and yours is one is the start. That's a great way
yeah,
of describing how
100%.
we look at it.
Look at
And
us. I'm so glad we did this.
see, we can come together on this. We can figure it out. Now we just need social media to agree with one of us.
That's fair. Now the real battle begins.
That is the one clip with that clip right there. We need to put on social media with a poll of who's right, Lauren or
Yep.
Austin.
Yep. 100%.
Oh goodness.
So then a
Yeah,
4 star.
four
Then
star.
a 4 star book for me is probably my most used because it honestly probably has the biggest range. A 4 star is like it can be
Well, yeah,
anything from
3.5 to possibly 4.75, of course it's got the most range.
well, yeah. But okay, but
Continue.
no, because technically 2.5 to 3.75 could be also a
Could
3.
also be a
So like you
three.
do technically have the same
Insane.
grouping between a 3 and a 4.
You're insane.
Technically the same range of numbers. But
I hate it.
anyway,
I hate it so much. Okay.
but now it makes sense as to why I do it at least.
Yes, that is for sure.
So yeah, but no, for me, a 4 star can really be anything that like I would recommend it to you. If I think that it's your genre, I would recommend it in a heartbeat. A 4 star most of the time is something that just fell flat of that 5 star perfection. A 5 star book. I could probably tell you any and every book that I have ever given 5 stars to. Like a 5 star book for me is something that I remember almost the entire thing, where a 4 star is something that I was having a fun goofy time, or like I completely got enthralled into it. I devoured it. I loved it. I ate it up. It will stick with me, but not in that same next level that a 5 is.
Interesting. I get it. I understand. I get
Yeah,
it.
so there's either like a character that really bothered me, or there was a plot point that like they completely forgot about, and then why did we bring it up right now? Or there wasn't enough plot. A lot of times my 4 stars will be 4 stars because it either felt just slightly too forced, or like a plot they like completely forgot about one of the plots because it got too romance heavy, or something like that, where it's like it's really good, loving it, just
Right.
not all the way.
Yeah. 4 star for me is pretty close, I would say, for what your vibe is, except for I think that how you described your 4 stars of like I was enthralled with, all this sort of stuff. That's a 5 star, like that is, and I clearly hand out 5 stars more than you do,
Yeah.
but a 4 star book is one that I really really enjoyed. Like I really really liked it, and there was like one or two things that like bugged me about it, like that
Yeah.
I bumped into, like Project Hail Mary is a perfect example of it. Of like, it's a 4.5 star book because it's really, really good, but I bumped into a couple of things that I couldn't get over,
Yep.
And so that's what makes a good 4-star book for me. I'm looking at some of my 4-star books, like um, like Between Two Fires, Christopher Buehlman. Going back to the author that I keep talking about. Loved every bit of it, but but it also was a bit gross, and so that
Yeah.
kicked me away from it. The
Yeah.
Lies of Locke Lamora. It's like it's really 4.25, 4.5 stars. Really, really good book. Loved reading it, but it had a weird moment that just kind of turned everything and made me kind of, I don't really get it. And so,
Yeah.
like, that's why I have so many books that are 5 stars that have problems, but they're all problems I could get over.
Yeah. And see, for me, mine that would be then a 4.75 that gets a 4. Is if it has a problem that, like, if it has a problem, it gets bumped down. So like Soul Searching is a fantastic example. This was by Lila Sage. It's a spooky ghost. She's in a ghost town. She can see ghosts. He can't, kind of thing. And like it was so close to a 5 star. I had basically no notes except for at the very end, one of the main plot points kind of got dropped and then picked back up. And so I was like, "Oh, I forgot that we were doing that." Okay, cool. Well, then it's not a 5 star. Like, another one is Shield of Sparrows. I've mentioned that one. It's Devaney Perry. I'm beyond excited for the second book, but it's also just a journey book. There wasn't an overly deep plot for me to really sink into. And so it's like, okay, because of that, like it's not quite a full 5 star for me.
Sure. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. And I guess that's where, and so my Goodreads is filled with 5 stars. As we move into the 5 star, we both know that a 5 star book this is the best of the best. This is what we would hand to absolutely anybody, right?
Yes.
All of my 5 stars are probably 4.5 or up. Or
Yeah.
four and a
And
half
then
stars.
I bump them down.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm trying to think of, like, I'm looking at some of them, some of my Goodreads, and I'm like, okay, where am I? What, like, where was I really on these? And like, I write reviews, and the first thing I put in the review is if it's not exactly what the number is.
I do that
then
too. Yeah.
yeah, I put it down there. Almost every Dresden File book is a 5 star. I
That's fair.
think I think you have found the thing that Austin likes the most. And so, but yeah, like I wouldn't take away the 5 star rating from any of these just because there was a little bit of issue with it. I think that all of my 5 star rated books on Goodreads are earned, even if they aren't
For
perfect.
sure.
I think that they are earned at the very least.
Yeah. See, and I think the other part is so Ben likes to call a sports team when they win or lose a big dub or a little dub or a big L or a little L, which for a long time really bothered me until he kind of explained that it like is also based on like who they played. If they played a cupcake and they beat them, it's still kind of a little L or a little dub because it's
Yeah.
like they should have won anyway. Where
Yeah.
if like they come out ahead and they really battle and they just cremate one of the top teams, that's a big dub, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where my kind of like a 4.75 rounding down, it's like it's a little dub. But I could
Sure.
also still round it up and it's a big dub. Like I kind of have that nuance with it because
Yeah.
like I said, like it's still earned, it's just different.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That 5 star is your big dub. It takes a lot to get
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. I get
Because
it.
like because then I guess going into 5 star, like my 5 stars, yeah, I mean, are pure perfection books. The only exception I make for 5 stars is all nonfiction and all memoirs. I do not review, but I give them a 5 star automatically because I am of the opinion that if it is somebody's story, who am I to judge that? Who
Sure.
am I to review that? And I want to make sure that it gets into the correct audience. And so if me giving it 5 stars gets it into me giving it a 5 star gets it into the correct audience, even if it wasn't my thing, then that's helpful to somebody that was brave enough to tell their story. Same with nonfiction. If somebody is intelligent enough to write a book on a specific topic, 5 stars. Even if it wasn't for me giving it 5 stars gets it into the hands of somebody that could really use it. and partly because a lot of my nonfiction that I read is like self-help, self like development type stuff. And so it's
Sure.
like, even if I didn't resonate with that style of self-help or self-development, I want to rate it 5 stars. I'm not going to review it because I may not have
Hmm.
resonated with it, but I want to make sure that I help it get into the correct hands.
That makes sense. I genuinely don't read memoirs. I don't read nonfiction. It just has never appealed to me in any form, and so I don't. I can't say what mine would be. I tend to. I understand your reasoning. I would tend to disagree to a degree because you can have books that are great stories but are poorly written, and so I would say that like you know I would say that you could differentiate between for memoirs. Maybe none of them get less than a 3 star, but
True.
maybe your rating system is more closer to mine on a memoir rather than just automatically giving it a 5 star. So,
True.
but yeah, nonfiction's hard. Like for some reason, nonfiction to me is just like it's homework. Even fun nonfiction, I can't seem to get into. But, so it
Yeah,
goes.
for me, I do. My nonfiction is very much, yeah, I mean, my nonfiction is still very much like self-help. I'll do like a chapter before bed. Like, I keep it really digestible, really easy to do.
Yeah. I ain't got time for that. I want to get into my fantasy worlds. I want to be completely, I just I don't want to be a part of that. I want to if I'm reading, I don't want to read about the real world. Give me some imagination.
That's totally fair. Fair and valid. And I actually have realized that since I've gotten into like really deep into my book like world and stuff and like doing a lot more like fun reading, I have read my nonfiction a lot less than when I first started. And I was like
Yeah.
trying to be more mindful of it. Now I'm like, nah, give me the fun stuff.
I would like my little stories, please.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Chit Chat and Chapters. Only 2 segments this time. Don't worry. We'll have plenty more segments whenever, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so
I mean,
much
hey,
for listening.
next one's probably only going to be one segment because we're doing year-end wrap.
True.
So we're going to just 3, 2, 1, and we'll
Yeah.
start the new year afresh.
Exactly. 100%. I'm Austin Pistolka. Find me on social media that I may or may not use at Radio Guy Austin. Lauren, where can they find you?
I am Lauren. I am Lauren's Lifestyle everywhere, on the TikToks, on the YouTubes, across the board. So when you found the profile picture, you have found me anywhere.
Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe and stars, rate and review. Do all the things, push all the buttons. And as always, keep on reading.